Earlier today, I spoke with a medical expert about the nature of Tiger's injuries and what a return to golf may look like for the 15-time major champion. Dr. Sue, thanks so much for giving us a few minutes tonight. We certainly appreciate it. Since the big news broke about Tiger yesterday, today I feel like we're getting a better sense of just the extent of his injuries, the crushed ankle, the multiple leg fractures. What's your understanding from what you've heard just about the extent of his injuries and what kind of condition he's in today?
Yeah, that's a great point, Rob. 24 hours ago, we were really worried about life-threatening issues that could come from such a terrible accident such as this, and today we're more or less thinking less about life-threatening issues but more functional ones. And so you are absolutely right. From my understanding, Tiger had multiple injuries to his right leg, not necessarily his left one, and he suffered fractures in his lower leg, the tibia bone, the ankle area, as well as the foot. And these fractures were comminuted, which means that they were in multiple pieces. On occasion, there are just two pieces of a broken bone that are much easier to put together. When there are multiple pieces, it's much more difficult. It also implies that there's a greater impact or zone of injury or a lot of energy to that injury, so the soft tissues are severely damaged as well. And we also know that he sustained an open fracture, which means that the skin was broken open, and this makes the surgery an urgent one and does increase the chance of an infection coming about later on during his post-operative recovery.
And obviously all of that is quite serious. So someone who is banged up to that degree, what is the recovery process like? Will he face additional surgeries? How long will he be in the hospital? Where do we go from here?
Yeah, I think you have to look at his injuries both short and long term. In the short term, because of the amount of a trauma that he had to the leg, you're really worried about any possibility of an infection. We have a great example with Alex Smith, who's a professional quarterback for the Washington football team, who underwent 17 different surgeries after a similar injury just to the tibia alone, not including the ankle and the foot like what is reported that Tiger has had. And he required all of these surgeries because of the infection and the risk it took to his legs. So Tiger has to undergo the same monitoring and the same recovery process, and there could be multiple surgeries. Hopefully not. Some of these open fractures, if treated adequately and appropriately, do not need other surgeries like Alex Smith's. But that's the short term. And then long term, it matters what his bones look like, what his cartilage looks like. If the fracture actually involves the cartilage in the ankle with a golf swing, you really need stability of that right ankle in order to post and to turn as fast as you can. And without this, it's going to be really hard to swing a golf club with any sort of force. So long term, you're looking at having the soft tissues heal over, making sure the cartilage is repaired in an appropriate fashion if there was some disruption, and then gaining the strength back in the leg. There's not a lot of muscle in the ankle and tibia area, and any soft tissues that are disrupted there could lead to long-term concern.
Wow. So we're talking about the potential of more surgery, then obviously some kind of rehab and physical therapy. Everything needs to heal well. I know you're not the doctor specifically treating Tiger, I get that, but based on your experience, can you time frame, at least in a ballpark way, how long you think the recovery may last? I assume we're talking about months.
Oh, yeah, at least. Even in a perfect world, let's say that there was no comminution of the bone and there is no infection and there's no open fracture, you're looking at 9 to 12 month recovery from an injury to the leg with multiple areas that requires multiple surgeries. Not that you're bringing in all of the other aspects, the soft tissues, the potential risk for infection, the fact that you've got to strengthen your leg up again before you swing a golf club. I mean, it's going to be about 3 months before, or maybe about 3 months before he can even put weight on his leg, let alone strengthen the leg to where he can, end up being on a golf course. So we're talking about the 6, 9, 12, 18-month recovery at the very least from this type of injury.
Wow. And Tiger's 45 years old, which by golf standards is on the older side of things. We also know that he had multiple surgeries on his back. That was another part of his body giving him trouble. And of course, now this horrific accident that happened yesterday. So for folks who love golf or just love to watch Tiger play golf, if you had to take a guess as to whether he can ever compete professionally again, where would you put your money today?
I'll never make the same mistake twice, Rob. I was asked the same question when he underwent his 4th lumbar surgery years ago. And at that point, no professional golfer had ever come back from a lumbar fusion to the tour, let alone win a major championship. So my reluctance to predict that he would get back at such a high level at that point, I will not make that mistake again. I mean, I think if there's anything that we've learned from following truly incredibly physically and mentally strong human beings is that the sky's the limit. So what I just told you in terms of his limitations and the expected recovery is for an average human. When you've got the GOAT of golf, going through this, never count him out.
The GOAT of golf. I like that phrase. Doctor, thank you for your insight and your expertise. We're all certainly rooting for Tiger to get better and to get back on a golf course somewhere, and we'll see how the recovery goes, but you're certainly not counting him out. That's probably a smart move considering what we've seen from him before. Thanks so much for giving us your time today. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you, Rob. It was my pleasure.